Hey, we're back with another Need for Speed episode, and today we're gonna talk about a game that I thought was very interesting to say the least. Before starting the channel, I always thought I could say that I played every single Need for Speed game out there, and technically speaking, I did, but only the main series. Looking at ports and other games they call Need for Speed, however, opened my eyes to a secret world of Need for Speed I didn't touch. Some, so far, have been pretty good. Others, not quite. When I made the video on the Game Boy Advance ports of Need for Speed, I was reminded of a game I knew existed but never really cared about. Need for Speed Carbon owned the city. You guys let me know that the best version of said game was the PSP one, which is supposed to be the main version of it, and me, being myself, simply had to try it out and see how different it was from Carbon. And this is what we are talking about today. A Need for Speed port that is not really a port because it is basically a new game. But it also is, because it's not only Carbon, but, well, you'll see. Oh, also, I'll take the time real quick to let you know about my store on Motif. After some considerations on where and how to make some comfy stuff that you could wear while also making you look like the hottest person on your city, I opened the store on Motif with some cool designs that will make your mom call me within 5 minutes of you getting it. And trust me, it's not to ask for a refund. So if you want to support me and look cool at the same time, head to motif.com/store/bluetag to see what we have for you. I really hope you find something you like. The link will be in the description. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I really wasn't expecting much from this game. I caught a quick glimpse of the story when I was playing the GBA version, but did my best not to get spoiled while playing it, just because I wanted to make a video on this. The game starts with two brothers racing when an accident happens, leaving you unconscious and waking up 6 months later with memory loss. You are guided by Sarah and Carter, Sarah being your friend and Carter being your wingman. Sarah lets you drive her car so you can use to driving again, and brings you to the cemetery, where your brother Graves lies. She explains that Mick, your brother, was also her boyfriend, and that they found out that someone in an orange car with the Eastsiders logo crashed the race, causing the accident. We are then introduced to how the wingman system works and start playing. The game has 3 types of wingmen: brawlers, assassins, and drafters. Brawlers will focus on other driver on the race and drive into their car to destroy them. Assassins will drive in front of your opponents and drop spikes to blow their tires, but it can also blow your tires too, so you gotta be careful when using it. Drafters will go in front of you and let you draft behind them to get to top speed quickly. I'll start with the gameplay since the game is introducing us to these. It really doesn't feel too bad. There are some small changes that were done to the gameplay to make it playable on this analog and this D-pad. So turning, for example, has a lot more inertia when you let go of the wheel. This felt a bit off when I started playing. I wasn't even expect Carbon gameplay, but it feels extremely close, but not really at the same time. It's kinda uncanny. I got used to it pretty quickly though, and the further you get into the game, unlocking performance parts and cars, the better it feels. My biggest complaint with the gameplay just has to be the wingman. The AI in this game is not very smart. I mean, at all. A lot of times they'll just run into walls and spend the entire race there, like you just stopped working. And because the AI is not very smart, it means that you can't always count on your crew to help you out. I lost count on the number of times I was at the end of the race and asked my brawler to hit the opponent just ahead of me for him to miss the road and get lost in the back, and I just ended up losing the race. Same goes for assassins. Most of the time when you ask them to attack the opponent, they'll either keep driving in front of them and never throw the spikes, which can be very frustrating, or simply get lost too, just like the brawlers. The better one is definitely the drafters, as their job is only to drive in front of you. If they get lost in the back, they'll simply teleport back into the race. So that's kinda cheating, but they can't win the race because that means you lost, so whatever. The cars also feel very slow in the beginning, which is understandable. A port of a full Need for Speed game wouldn't really run on the PSP without any problems, especially with the Most Wanted map. Right, blue tag, what do you mean the Most Wanted map? What I mean is that the map of this game is a port of the map of the original Most Wanted, scaled down and simplified to fit into the PSP. It is called Coast City, which is funny because they removed the whole Camden Beach section from Most Wanted to put into this game. But the weird part is that it took me a minute to notice that this was the same map from the game I played more times than years of age I have. They really changed everything in this map, to the point that the only recognizable thing is the layout. I would give them points for having a good map in the game, but sadly I actually have to take them away for acting like this is a new map when it's really not. I would really much prefer they tell a different story that happened in Rockport instead of going, "Hey everyone, welcome to our brand new map, Coast City." At least I can praise the race layouts they put into the game, most of which I haven't seen in Most Wanted. Together with the new gameplay of the game, it actually feels pretty good to play and I can definitely get behind this handling model. I just wonder what Most Wanted on the PSP really was. There's also an open world for you to explore, which I don't remember being on Most Wanted for the PSP, but again, I could be wrong. There isn't a lot to do in it though. They added crates that you can look for and some cops that you can outrun, but sadly the cops have no purpose in the game. Each time you can escape, you can unlock some artwork, but that's it. They aren't even in the races. Kind of a letdown if you ask me. Catching up with the story now. After our brother's death, other crews took over Coast City, including one you heard before, the Eastsiders. Pretty cool seeing the group again after Underground. Each crew you defeat in the game shares what they know about the accident with you, and one of them says that the accident was caused by someone named Buddy. X, the leader of another crew, begins to explain what he knows about the accident when an explosion happens and kills Sarah. You go and confront Buddy, who reveals he was hired by someone and shows you his phone. And you then go on trying to figure out who hired him to do it. Oh, and the graphics. Actually not that bad. Of course, I am upscaling the game to 1080p, but it really doesn't look bad. Again, while it is the Most Wanted map scaled down and simplified, I really love how it looks. It's not really during the day, but not really during the night, so they went for a late evening setting in the game, and with the soundtrack and newly added songs, it is actually such a cool vibe. I really couldn't make this up. I wish I could show you some gameplay with the music in the background, but sadly YouTube would give me a copyright claim for using the song, so sadly I'll have to skip this part, but hey, I highly advise you to check it out, the new songs in it. One thing I didn't like that much is that they basically screwed the metallic colors. The reflections don't really show up correctly, and sometimes where the camera is above the car it reflects the street under it. Sometimes the back reflects things in the front of it. But the real problem is that metallic colors are more like chromatic colors. It reflects like a mirror and really doesn't look very good. But of course that's just a nitpick. It is still a PSP game after all. Back to the story. We defeat Corpse Leader MK, who reveals he's an undercover cop and can't find out who sent the message to Buddy's phone. And it is revealed that X was the one who planned everything. And then you go after him with MK's police forces. They apprehend X, just for Sarah to reappear, explaining that she wanted you to stay away from all of it and move on with your life. Then tries to run away, which ends up in a race somehow. This was a big opportunity to make a chase sequence, which is already in the game. They just decided to put it as a race for some reason. After you stop Sarah, she reveals that the player was the one to ask X to get rid of his brother. You see, Mick was a terrible person. He used to beat up Sarah and go to extreme measurements to put the player down. The player promised Sarah that they would be free from Mick, and made the entire plan of killing him in an accident. She then gives you Mick's watch, saying the player is different from Mick, and that they are free now. I actually thought it was a pretty cool twist. If not a bit too obvious because of how many twists happened in the story. It would be better if they had different people that could be the killer, but instead the player doesn't even suspect anyone until the last few moments in the game. The customization in the game is simple but not bad. You're a bit limited in vinyls, but have a lot of spoilers, real colors. It's just fine in my book. There are some new modes in the game. Races without checkpoints where you have to deliver a package before the other crew, and another one where you have to destroy as many opponents as you can. I gotta say, I really enjoyed my time with this game, which was really unexpected. It really feels like a lost Need for Speed game from the Black Box era, and I don't think it should be overlooked. It is a great game that, if you can ignore the kind of useless wingman, can really make about 10 hours of fun. Oh, and it also gets really hard by the end. But yeah, I guess that's it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. It really helps me a lot. Do you have any other Need for Speed games I should take a look at? Let me know in the comments. I promise I'll read it. Oh, and a huge thank you for our new members. Corentin Letintin, and Aixuto24. Being a member helps me keep doing what I love, talk about video games, so thank you so much to all of you. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.